back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman T.J. Lang.
And we are back at the fifth quarter here in Little Chutes. The program heard on some of these great radio stations around Wisconsin on the Woodward Radio Network, like WMAM in Marinette, WHTL in Whitehall, WJJQ up in Tomahawk, WXCE in Amory, WFBZ in La Crosse, and WDKM in Adams Friendship. Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau, the tallest and largest ski area in Wisconsin with 700 vertical feet and 74 runs. Granite Peak offers terrain for all levels of skiers, along with 6 terrain parks and tree skiing glades. Right now you can save big money on season passes and multiple day lift tickets by visiting skigranitepeak.com. Great specials on now through September 30th at skigranitepeak.com. Time now for our email segment of the program. Let's go out to our live studio audience in Justin Hall.
All right. Remember, inthehuddleshow.com. That's where you can go each and every week to submit your questions and have an opportunity at that great prize pack. We actually got our first question. We'll start. It's in-house. It's on the piece of paper here. And I know you kind of went into it a little bit, but not too much. But as young players who have not played with Brett Favre, what is your feeling on the biggest rivalry for the Packers? Is it the Vikings? Is it the Bears? Do you see a different emphasis between the two?
Last year, I think the biggest difference was just the media hype of us playing the Vikings, obviously with Favre over there. But in-house, I'd say that, our attitude against both teams are about the same. We realize that it's pretty much, consistently us three for the division title. So I think last year with Brett going to Minnesota kind of put a little bit of spice on that, that rivalry. But I think they're both just as important to us.
Is that a name that can't be talked about? Is there a fine if you bring up that name in the locker room?
No, honestly, nobody talks about him anyways. I think, last year the media kind of blew that up bigger than what it really was and, what we wanted it to be. So, that's part of their job.
Media doesn't do that, do they?
Absolutely they do, especially Bill.
I did hear Larry McCarron say yesterday that his idea, and obviously as a former player and somebody that's pretty close to it, his idea of the Packers-Vikings versus Packers-Bears, he said the Packers actually hate the Vikings. He says, Packers-Bears, you can go beat the heck out of each other on the field, but then go have a beer together afterwards. So that was his, he thought that the players liked each other a little bit more away from the game.
How about two guys growing up in Michigan? Is there a Packers-Lions rivalry? Did you see that? Can they get thrown in the mix at all, or are they irrelevant?
I think Lions fans hated the Packers just because we beat them every year, but there really hasn't been much competition. It's when we were growing up, so I don't really think it's a rivalry. They pretty much hate every team because almost every team beats them.
All right, we'll get back to our email bag here. This one coming from Angie in Little Chute. I know the hype of a Monday game is always bigger than the typical Sunday since there's only one game, but do you enjoy playing in Monday Night Football games better than the usual Sunday games?
I don't know. The emotions are a lot higher, and I'll tell you, we have so much time off on Monday afternoon. It's like we're done. We have meetings and jog through, and we're done at noon, and then the bus doesn't leave until 5, and you're sitting around for 5 hours. Trying not to sleep the whole time. You don't want to be tired, but you're still trying to find stuff to do, and there's not really that much good TV on a Monday afternoon. So I like playing. Personally, I like playing Sunday. Noon games. I'd like to, get up and get moving and going. But anytime you have a chance to play on a national televised audience, Monday night, Sunday night, it's a big game.
All right, we'll get to our next question. This one's from Paul in Appleton. It's referring to Rodgers passing to Andrew Quarles in the crucial time in the game. But how does that work? Does he go through a read, or does it depend on the play when you go in there and putting certain players in certain situations?
Well, I think on that play, I'm pretty sure they brought pressure on that play, and he kind of had to dump the ball off quick. So, he's pretty much has a split second to decide who he wants to throw to. So, I don't think, I think just it was a split second decision. He was getting pressure and had to dump it off somewhere, and that happened a lot in the game yesterday. We had a lot of little short passes, little 5-6 yard passes. So, that's just part of the way the defense was playing.
Yeah, and that play on that play there. It was a scenario where Jermichael Finley was in the locker room getting IV treatment because he was cramping up, and quite frankly, Corliss was an open receiver. I mean, he was open. If he catches the ball, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the field, but from the reaction of the guys, I think it was a play that he possibly could have made.
All right, we'll get back to our questions here from Christy in Kaukauna. As an offensive lineman or as offensive lineman, do you think it makes your job harder when you pass block more often than you run block in a game like last night where the differential is so huge?
I mean, I guess going into the game, I mean, you expect to run the ball a lot. You know, you want to, you know, you have the emphasis, we're going to pound the ball, but then when you're just passing, I mean, I guess it's maybe a little more stressful because the D-line, you know, they have more time to react and think, you know, I'm going to, you know, do this pass rush, I'm going to do this. You know, if they know it's a pass just about every single time. But, I mean, with our guys, they're confident that they, you know, that they can block up front and, you know, take it, you know, handle anything thrown at them.
And with that, too, I'll ask you this. I mean, as an offensive line group, they talk about running backs getting into the flow of the game. Is that the same as an offensive line? With the running game side of things, the more you block, the more you're out there, the more easier it becomes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to get in the average team wants to establish the run, and you want to do that early. And yesterday, you know, Chicago they were loading up the box. They weren't really allowing us to, you know, they weren't giving us many good looks to run the football into. So it was tough, but, you know, we had to adjust, and you know, we ended up throwing a lot of small little passes to kind of make up for that.
All right, that's our Granite Peak Ski Area Email Question of the Week segment. We'll draw our winner of our ski package valued at more than $400 during the break. We'll come back, and Justin will announce our winner. Back with more In the Huddle from the fifth quarter in Little Chute after this on the Woodward Radio Network.